Okay, so I'm going to vent some more about my week in acute care, and then the geriatrics night. Not much about the geriatric night. I met Cheryl. She felt no one was listening to her. So, sorry. Camera. I'm going to turn on the camera for visual verification. Oh, alright, so I stayed up all night for a reason to reset my cycle, and because one of the gentlemen here liked the overnight stays that I used to do. But the thing was, there was another person involved. It was always nice to have that staff member. Motherly instincts, let's say. But and she was up the whole time. It was actually quite hilarious. But then we were dealing with Paul's timing. His timing was impeccable, and he'd always say the exact wrong thing on purpose to stir the hornet's nest. So we're not going to discuss all that. Of which I explained to that female. What the situation was, and what was going on with the other people in the room. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Yeah. So this is what we're doing." I'm like, "Now watch this." And I said, "He's an audio. He listens to his environment quite well." And then I'm like, my body's going to do things. I need you to just ignore it, or if you need to process it, think in your head and just answer your own questions. So she did that. Now, the problem is she's pregnant. For some reason, I have this instinct in me that just wants me to help out, solve all the problems. You relax, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. But that was not the dynamics of the situation. She was the caretaker at that point. So, I hope she's doing well. I think I misled her a little bit. I was honest with her, and she's the one that said 2026, so I knew what she was saying. Which I had my own meaning, just like every twitch that I had that made me look crazy. She had her own meaning, and I think she was processing her dynamics with her family. And the one thing I want to address is whatever you define your reality for, you yourself, your inner child, your outer children, is right. Okay, that's how you know how to talk. Do that. All right. The stork thing is just a metaphor, sort of. I mean, I got to prove that. Everything I say, I got to prove. I either got to do or I got to do a version of it. It's so close that people will be like, "Well, all right, I'll give you par on this one." Okay, you almost had it, close enough. I don't need to know anymore. I know where you were going. You did your best. All right, it's nothing negative on me or them, but it's just one of those things where I see you have more potential somewhere else. Leads me to Community, the show. That show is filled up with so many synchronicities and this pattern recognition stuff, but no one likes to watch it. It gets kind of boring at times. But if you step through episode 1 all the way through, you'll see how the dynamics change. You'll see how all these key points, where I learned them, and how I managed to progress this conversation. So, but I'm not allowed to use their information. See, that's where I was having issues. So I was having mixed communications. So with mixed communications being said, I don't always give people, each one of these go to a different person in time and space. So, but I'll develop a new system personally to them. Sometimes they only need binary, 50-50. Sometimes they need an infinite one, but I don't have time for that. So I break it down. I'm like, here's the deal. I'll explain 26 different things that I find inappropriate and how I would fix them. And this is what I would do to remedy them. I hope you learn from them. I hope you take the wisdom of however you perceive it and add it to your soup or stew, your seasoning, so your style of life. And then after 26 on this reference, I get 27. So then what I do is take the last one and then break it down to a softer topic. Just like the letter system, you start with the capitals, and then you go to the lowercase right after that. Half the size, half the volume, half the potency. Well, the potency doesn't have to change. It's just the delivery system has to be calm and collective. So doesn't mean you change, it just means you're branching out. You're becoming more an avenue of support and foundational tool for the other person to build upon. So, I mean, I can do this with images. You know, I can send you a bunch of images or a bunch of video links and try to explain multiple things to divert you from what I'm actually doing. So, but it all comes down to a bed in community. You need your sleep. Otherwise, you turn into an Asperger. Okay, no one likes Bob. So, because he's too weird. He makes no sense, but yet you like him, you laugh. So, I'm bald. I'm like really bald. So, multiple things of the staff. A lot of the staff knew me. It's like one of those things. You know how in high school or school you did the head nod? As an adult, you don't do that. You know, you recognize, you know, you do a hand signal or something not so obvious where people don't have to know, but you each know. Like, you'll see, like, the biggest giveaway is, like, when I start talking and I say a comment, a lot of people will scratch where my tattoos are on their body. All of a sudden, they got scratched there. And there's Kenny. His timing is impeccable. Always. And he'll just keep repeating everything. I'll tell you why. It's Siri's fault. I swear to God, he had an iPhone. And he's like, Siri doesn't understand what I'm saying. And he'll repeat it the exact same way every time. It's like, I don't understand why this don't work. It's like, what do you think? What do you think? So anyways, good guy. I tore into him on a prior video. I think the porno video, because I was dealing with Dontorius stuff, and Dontorius has an issue with Kenny. So, and you know, we all do it our own way. We all have issues that with certain individuals because they do things that just irk us. And even though we tell them a million times, they just like, I don't get it. I'm like, that's because you're not trying. So we just move on and we try our best to accommodate for those that are wanting to be blissfully ignorant. So there was a situation with the staff member that I would like to address. Now, this staff member has been through some stuff, so she has a history. All right, stuff happened. Now she has, she gets everything done, but it jumps around because her brain is rewired. That's how it is. It doesn't mean it's incorrect. It's just she's trying to fix too many problems at once. And then by doing so, everyone gets turned off, and then they allow her to do her thing when she feels overwhelmed, and then comes back. When you need to understand that even though she's talking, that's her way of communicating, both her inner talk, she's tying in her outward experience. It's not because she's a bitch. It's because the shit she has to deal with from staff and employees, as well as the, which I witnessed firsthand, the clientele or patients at the certain St. Charles Centerpoint facility, which I addressed in, I said Centerpoint a few times. I don't know if anyone caught that. And my 3D art video that was reposted just a few videos prior. It could be the last one. But anyways, and I'm sorry. This is not my story to tell, but I'm using it as an example. It's a pregnant woman. Said she was going to have twins. And she's having a hard time, and she laced into this other female, the staff member. She says, you know, you wouldn't have such a problem if you would quit smoking meth. And it wasn't delivered so politely. As you know, even though that's a harsh statement, the tone was different. It was very threatening, yelling at her. And she understands that the clientele is going through stuff. You know, and if you talk to a lot of the staff nowadays, they let you know. They're like, I've been there, literally. I've been in this type of environment, not as a practitioner, but as a client. And I don't think they need to share that, but that's my personal opinion. If that's how they communicate and that's how they want to bridge the conversation, that's fine. Because some people don't listen, but some people will never listen. And you can tell by the people that stand next to them. That's the thing. You got to watch the clientele. Find the ones that are communicating clearly. They may not be communicating in the right tone or pace, but the ones that are actually making sense, watch them. And then watch the ones that completely lie. They'll say completely random stuff, whatever, and it's not quite jailhouse talk. They're trying to, they have information, they just don't know how to connect it. And when that person that knows starts connecting for them, then they start being honest. It's fucking horrible every time. So, with that being said, she was good. And then my Dr. Sarah Malik, I think is her name. Anyways, she tied up a nice little pretty bow, because I like to drive fast. I do. But you got me driving real slow right now. I like to get from point A to point B. That's why I was prescribed Abilify from Sarah Malik at Centerpoint. So, and she doesn't know anything about me. Then she tries to offer me injections. Oh man, I flipped shit. I'm like, no, I will take the medication as prescribed. Always have been. Okay, you don't know me. Offer me a 30-day thing where I have no options in a day-to-day choice is insane. That is not okay. Well, we don't think you can take care of yourself. Okay. Well, you thinking wrong, and stop wishing death upon me, okay? Fuck off. I liked her, though. She always had a smile after my first couple of meetings with her. She, didn't understand what was going on. And then I realized that once the social worker came in and read what was in the file. So I had said, there are things that I've done in my past that I can't take back. I can't. I'm never going to either, because I know that's in me, okay? And if someone wants to challenge that, I will push that shit so far down their throat, and I won't stop until they understand who's right in this situation. So they took that as a verbal threat, when all I was saying is that I'm never going to take the love I've given to other people back, okay? Rick and Morty said it best. You'll have to look up the Roy video on my channel. If you look up Rick and Morty simulation or video game, you'll find it. And he says, if you want to shuffle words around, you can make anything sound negative. Case in point. All right. The doctor immediately thought I was a violent shitbag. So, and didn't know what I was doing. And I tried to explain the situation. And it took 5 different meetings of different staff members, because there's so many different levels in those facilities, before I found out where the problem was. It was my communication and how it was translated into paperwork. Now, I needed that translated into paperwork. That's why I did the intonation and chose the words, because I needed that break. So, but you can't just say, I need to be here. Okay, I have this pattern recognition. I have experience here. I know the cadence of this facility. I know at this point in time, every piece that I've talked about on my channel is going to be there, because that's inappropriate, all right? So I allowed my automatic procedures and protocols to take over, quit my job, walked away, and because that cadence got too quick. It was just so dead on that I'm like, okay, I gotta change pace. I gotta find a new location. So, but that's not who I am. I'm trying to prove points. So I can't check in anymore, because from this point forward, I can't do additional medication. And I've got to prove to this current doctor, which I'm probably not going to. I want to wait until I move out to get off Abilify. So, and then move on from there. And I had discussed with the loved one just recently about doing a paid service. So basically I split it 50-50 with the person I talked to, like I did with Dintorius, and then talk to their problems, and then air it on this YouTube channel as a reference point of understanding. And then I'll explain all the technical knowledge that I have, and the reason why the medical industry needs to understand that these items are correlated. They're not correlated. We understand that everything has a connection, but I mean, these are the reasons why you see these problems, and you can break down the analysis much quicker. A lot of times it doesn't need a dose of heavy medication. So, but when someone gets wound up so quick and so fast, because I met this guy named Zach, he's fucking hilarious. There's 2 Zachs near the end. The first Zach, everyone knew first Zach. He was hilarious. He would laugh all the time. He's like, oh shit, that really makes sense. And then you just start laughing. But his drug of choice was heroin, so I understand the personality, which is kind of counterintuitive, because he was so wound up, which I understood the choice for doing heroin. It slows you down a little bit, or can. problem is I'm going to tell you from my life experience, all right? And I've met a couple individuals. I've never met someone doing fentanyl, high doses of fentanyl in person, but meth as well as heroin, you can tell an experienced user because their cadence doesn't change, right? They are the same person throughout the thing. It's not me trying to find the best in people. They literally ease up. All right, that is their developed coping mechanism. So how do you deal with that in a medical field is what I need to really branch into, but I can't do it in the 3 months if I'm working with these clients. And they'll get paid for offering up their personal honesty and allowing me to tear it apart and piece it back together like a mosaic. So that way the light shines through to the appropriate individuals. So, and that's kind of hard. That kind of ropes people in because they're like, she does it all the time and she's fine. She literally doesn't change. She just chills the fuck out. I don't know how she does it. And then other people want to try and she has no problem. It's always nice to be socialized and sharing a topic. Now, the preferred item is like a book or movie, but no problem. That popped me back to that video of my sister and my ex. But anyways, I like hot meat in my mouth. Beef, it's what's for dinner. So anyways, I like barbecues. Where are we at? I'll discuss it later. We're just going to jump back. Other staff member. And then there was the seniority. There's always that person that's been there forever. And they know the tips and tricks. But there are two different things, like between Burger King, where I worked, and the staff member at the medical facility. Now, mind you, they have different degree levels, but it's still a service-based industry, okay? It doesn't matter. If you're getting paid to work, it's service. You're providing for a client. This gentleman there knew all the rules, and he would explain it very well, and very laid back. He's been there forever. He gets the job done. He's kind of like the bread and butter of the system. He does all the jobs so well when he works that they allow him to walk a little more finer line than others are allowed. And then when someone else tries to replicate that, and they're younger in experience, they don't get that same respect, and it gets confusing because they're doing all that stuff. And I'm referencing that first staff member that got yelled at by the clientele and tore into it. They're confused because they're not getting that same grace, and that's because they haven't been there. Maybe it's a social dynamic thing, but it comes down to they don't have the seniority. So people don't let them just do their thing. So seniority has to be earned. And you can earn that real quick if you keep your head down and do whatever. So, but I don't know. I got a negative review at Dollar General, which kind of put a sour note on my thing, which I got a 0 star. I forget what it was. But my manager made sure that I understood what it was. So she's like, I don't understand this review at all because you're the best at customer service. What did you say? And I'm like, I don't know which customer it was. I say a lot of stupid shit to everyone. So she goes, I know you do. You're hilarious. I like your style, but you can't do this anymore. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the surveys, okay? If I have one bad egg out of the bunch, that may not have been on me. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Or maybe it was you trying to fuck up my numbers. She's like, I would never do that. I'm like, yeah, you would. We had to talk. You're going to fix the situation system for me, and I would do the same for you. So don't even lie to me, all right? So, all right. We'll leave it at that. So we're on plate by ear. I got to get the DVD up and running, and then I got to get my own plays. So that way I can decouple my current system and stop using the system the way I want. System and resources that I have inappropriately. and then I'll just have to work it out myself. Find my own support system that doesn't require someone to be paid to actually listen to me. So I want to get paid for people listening to me. So that makes more sense. So I will talk to you later, and God bless. Be safe on your journey. Hug your loved ones. You don't know how long they're going to be here. You could be hit by a bus, not them. And then they're all wondering why. She was so nice. Did she know? And then they all start going this existential route, and then they need you again. So be safe. Take care of yourself. You can't change the world. You can't help others if you're not here. So, all right, love yourself. Love your one inside, your inner child, your inner light, okay? They're the ones, they're these tiny little people, all right? I call them elves, okay? Inside yourself, okay? So, anyways, they have magic. They're the ones that you don't know about. They're doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, some people call it subconscious or whatever, brain, whatever you want to call it. That is the inner child, okay? That is not allowed on the outside. You just don't get to see it. It's a whole different persona. So, God bless. All right, I hope all this makes sense one day to you and yours. God bless. America first, American ease. Chinese, that means rest your chin, let it at ease. Chinese, okay, spell it out, figure it out. All right, God bless. Koreans, no, they crazy. They raise their kids to be something special. From birth, they know exactly what they want these kids to be. There's no way Americans would replicate that situation and make a time travel out of some crazy-ass motherfucker at 42 to explain everything. So that way, whenever someone partakes in my beverage, you know, and then they hit 42 and everything makes sense all of a sudden, then, yeah, that ain't a thing. America would never do that. There's no way that the fact that we drink so much beer in cans, all right, because Canada, Mexican, American, okay, all right, I can, all right, just makes sense. Oh, let's go ahead and discuss that. Business 101. All right, so why Chinese is so proficient at making money so quick and effectively, and the reason why they railroad their system and their economy. It's more out of respect and honor for the tradition. Now, ironically, there is a constant and never-ending commitment. It says, can I? So that was, if I remember it correctly, and don't quote me on this, it was made by an American accountant. He had said, if you do it this way and focus on this aspect of it and deliver each product and service with the same care that you're trying to improve every single one, the economy will change. America didn't want to hear that. They're like, get out of here with that mess. So he goes over to China after Hiroshima thing, who they were trying to rebuild. They're like, okay, we can do this. We're very much about family and tradition. This makes sense. They did it, and now look, okay, who's got all the money? The ones that rest their chins. Except when you're eating their Chinese food, and then they're all about dong, 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 dong. They're like, that is one heavy-ass motherfucker. See, I think that, you know, like when I was bigger and eating at buffets, I think they were all like, oh, God, you make a good sumo wrestler. And then they're like, you know what I would do to him? And that was all going through my head when it was most likely I had a piece of cheese in my beard, okay? And they're like, he needs to get that out. I won't walk over there and clean it for him because he doesn't know how to eat right. That was an actual event. It happened right before the stint incident. She was getting my mother was getting checked out by the doctor. We were finding out whether she was required to take the surgery to get stents put in her liver or something. I think they're stents. So I know she had some in some arteries as well. So it was just a whole bunch of mess. But anyways, I was eating Chinese food by myself at a buffet in Festus, Missouri. And then, God, what was it? I'm just eating there. I was eating, it was like this broccoli, I think there was some kale and cheese and ranch or something, salad. There was other stuff in it, like bacon bits and stuff like that. It was really good. But anyways, I was just wolfing down, and this nice little, I would say 20-ish, 27, 30, Asian woman comes over and then goes, what? She points at her chin, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. You like my beard? And she's like, no. And she puts her hand in my beard, pulls out a piece of cheese. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. It's been a rough day. And I explained, just a brief info, 30 seconds, and then I'm like, I appreciate you. I'm going to leave a bigger tip. You're amazing. So I'm going through a hard time, and I'm eating my feelings. So anyways, so I love y'all, everyone equally, especially if I'm eating at your restaurant. I love you especially. Treat me right. Now, I'll give you the extra tip. Just the tip, right? Anyways, I love you. Good luck. All right. Bye.